Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird and wonderful world. And today, I wanted to show you a couple of things. First of all, though, I do want to mention before I begin anything that I had recently done a review of Umagama here by Pink Floyd, and I will say that I wasn't satisfied with my review because I didn't really give it a proper active listen. I kind of skimmed over the review a little bit. I mixed it in with some other music talk and everything. I Give me about a couple of more days and I really want to go back and give this a proper review, because I kind of rushed it a little bit too much, and I didn't like that. I didn't. Yeah, I want to dedicate more of the episode, and I'm only going to try to make it only like less than 10 minutes. I'm going to only try to make it less than 10 minutes. But before I get into the main part, I'll be talking more about the other Pink Floyds too, because I only have these four, and hopefully I'll be getting more because I do want to get more. I am desperately looking for Dark Side and some of the other more prominent ones for sure. Okay, let's get to the second subject here before I get onto the main subject. I am showing you right now, because well, this kind of pertains to the main subject. As you guys know, I've been obsessively um yeah, ripping, ripping all my CDs, every single CD onto this two. It's plugged in right now, so I don't want to go too far, but at least you can still see it. It's a 2 terabyte, external disk. It's like a, it's like it's a powerful uh disk drive. So I love it. I have at least, 92% of my CD collection on there now. I would have to estimate. I'm so nearly done. I just have a few on bottom of that rack, then that rack, and then those KMFDM, and then I'm done. And then I'm done. And like that shouldn't be that long. So I just, whenever I probably won't be doing any this afternoon. I'll probably be doing some more ripping when I get back. But just to show you, because I got it right here. There's my it's all on my my Mo drive right here. You can, I'll well, wait, I have to pop the head up here so you guys can see it right there. Yeah, see my Mo files E drive. That's that's this thing here, and and I'll show you that. This should pop up, hopefully. The properties. Oh, you can't see that. No, no, you can't see that. But what it's saying right now, I can see that. It's oh, wait, 824 folders, which means that's 824 CDs, individual CDs that I put on there. That's a 9,158 files. That's the songs. That's how many songs I was able to put on there. And you see it starts with a perfect circle, except ACDC. Well, you guys can see that. I think that's wonderful. That's all. That's what's on there. I'll go down little by little, so you guys can have a good look of what's all in there. And when I say it's all in there, for example, with let's go with the Beatles, right? Beatles. And as you see, okay, it's Beatles, then the apostrophe there are very, very few exceptions to that rule. Even the people's names is going to be their last names, except for certain people. There's very few exceptions, but most often, if I'm going to put somebody like David Bowie here, is Bowie, comma David. Some exceptions are if they have also bands. Well, for Ry Cooter here, I did put Cooter and Ry, and then Ry Cooter with the other person, and I even put his name in the same way. But somebody like David Lee Roth, I'm not going to put Lee Roth and apostrophe David because he's David Lee Roth. Dick Hyman just sounds great that way. I'm sorry, but it does. But Bob Dylan, yeah, it's Dylan and then Bob. Eric Clapton, I know. I should have put it the other way. I didn't, and now it's kind of like that. And Frank Zappa, because of Frank Zappa and Mothers of Invention and Frank Zappa, Gary Newman. I had to put it that way because it's Gary Newman and the Tubular Way, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. But as I go along, well, I had it on the Beatles there. Let's go back and let's put it on the Beatles. Yeah, it's all my yeah, it's all my Beatles right here. Pretty much, you can't see the bottom of it. It's not going down that far, but yeah, it's all there. Well, you can see it right here in the side here. Yeah, you go down to the Yellow Submarine. Uh, It's all in there, and it makes me so happy. All my Beach Boys, and it's all perfectly all my Black Keys that I have. Just to give you a couple of idea, all my cake. I just did that last night. um Creedence, the new my new Crosby, Stills and Nash. Yeah, I'm so happy with that. So as you guys know, I had just recently found at the Salvation Army thrift store for $2 unopened a new one of those CDR writable, professional recordable compact disc. It says that it's 74 minutes, okay, but it's really like 75 minutes. It is 75 minutes, so you can go right up to the 74 mark if you want to, and yeah, they say 74 so that you don't go to 74 and then it would be not. No, they have to give you that extra little, so it's actually really 75. But don't go to the 75, go to the 74. I put 72 minutes worth of music on here, and I'm going to show you that right now. I'll get rid of that, and then I'll poke this up. Boom! Here's my mysterious mix. That's what I'm calling this, my mysterious mix. Because, and as I put in the description here, this is a mix that I just recently burnt onto a blank CD or recordable disc. This playlist is my mysterious compilation concept album mix of, I lost it again, of deep thoughts and musical reflection. And it's meant to be a sonic roller coaster of just a good, like for example, starting with Lateralis, Halo Will Fly. It's the remaster, but on this here is my whatever I have in my the 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 copy I have. Then the Major Tom. The only thing that's missing off of the playlist on Spotify there is I didn't put the German version of Major Tom. I only put the English version on there. I thought about putting it on there, but I thought, nah, I'll eliminate it. Make it just a little bit of a shorter of a mix. I think the whole thing altogether is 1 hour and 11 minutes. So yeah, you're not missing much. The only other difference too is the Nuclear Fission is the live from Red Rocks and 22, and and like I tried to put the one that's from this here from the yeah, I tried to put the copy of that's from the studio album here, the Flying Microtone Banana. It's unavailable. It's unavailable on Spotify. You can't find it on Spotify. So yeah, I'll leave that Spotify. I'll be leaving this Spotify playlist pinned down to the comments below or in the description if I can. I'll put that in after. But yeah, so yeah, this is what's on here. Then Gates of Steel, and the order that these songs are in is important because each song kind of feeds the other one with the. So the whole mysterious part is that it's up to the listener to figure out. I'm not trying. I don't want to explain why these particular songs. I mean, there are reasons. I mean, first of all, is one of the more important songs of um of my favorite band, and it has to start with my favorite band of all time, Tool. Okay, from something from my favorite album of all time, Tool. I mean, I would like to put Parabol and Parabola all as one song, but I would like the second choice, of course, would had to be Lateralis because of the meaning, and the meaning of that song really sets up the meaning of everything after. But then you have Halo of Flies by Alice Cooper directly after it, and and like you'll raise like what? And that's just a kind of setup that we're also entering a world of again mystery and intrigue and espionage and sabotage and you know and all that kind of cool spy stuff that the song is referring to in its wonderful lyrics. And this is because and I put that in there also because it represents all these songs represents an eclectic taste in my eclectic taste in music, but it was sonically a nice follow up to after following after Lateralis. It's a great transition between the songs, that I love, and also that uh, it's just something that I grew up on. It was always in my peripheral, like in my view ever since I was born. Basically, I've known it since like my whole life. I've known this and loved this song, and so it represents a big part of my life. This particular song of Alice Cooper, and as much as I love, and I do love all the other Alice Cooper songs, this one here for me stands high and above all the rest. It's just me. It just you know calls to my weird and wonderful side. Major Tom, of course, because I always love that song. Put it in here because I've been wanting this version of the song for a long time and had just recently gotten it. Nuclear Fission because they're my second favorite band. It's an awesome song, and the lyrics really also very deeply reflects their every other song on this album, on this compilation, on this concept album. It's a concept album of mixed songs. Yeah, of course, Eight Gates of Steel should be obvious. Stranger in Fiction, again, that kind of goes along with the this is the high stakes of espionage and spy stuff and glamour and whatever, like James Bond stuff. And this Stranger Than Fiction represents the true to life off the streets, a reality check look at a reality, and but it also it just really goes perfect. Like this is a and on this on this mix, this be a kind of a trilogy of between like starting with Stranger Than Fiction, This Is Your Life, and then ending with Hell Broke Loose. And then there's a certain theme that kind of runs through these three songs. If you Again, this is from my Fight Club soundtrack that I own. That that's the last song on it. It features Brad Pitt saying his diatribe from like his most famous lines from the movie, and it's with the Dust Brothers doing that awesome little soundtrack in the background. It's just it's perfectly it. And if you hear when you hear it in the flow of the album, yeah, for me it works so well. And then of course that leading into Hell Broke Loose, the transition is for me again. It's so satisfying. Me when there's great transitions between the songs and the songs flow perfectly into each other, and that it paints a bigger picture than what it's yeah. And then, of course, coming to the next part, "Come Down" by Ogre. Then two Nick Kershaw songs in a row, starting with the Riddle, and then "Wouldn't It Be Good," and then an old classic guitar rock instrumental by Dwayne Eddy. But why this one? in particular, this song, of all the guitar instrumental songs that I have, I could have chosen anything. It's because I this was one of those ones that I always loved as a kid from my dad had on his cassette tapes that he would record from the oldies on the radio. He'd be recording those from like in the early 70s and even the late 60s before I was born, he'd be recording those. And all the great music that was from the 50s and early 60s that I would hear from those tapes, and this one always captivated me. And then when I was able to get this, I'll take that quickly here, just right there. When I was able to get this, this rock and roll instrumental party mix, yeah, it was on there. It was on there, and I heard it. It was like I had not heard it like in so many years, like probably over 40 years that I had not heard that song. But it boom brings back all these memories, and it's a nice little palate cleanser for the rest of the. We just kind of I call this part here, once basically because you're young starts, this is I call this section here the suburban reality section, because starting with the night has a thousand eyes, with talking about people cheating, that this is a small town and there's eyes everywhere, and if you're cheating or if I'm cheating, it'll get around. So don't cheat because we'll know. Because people talk. And Marrakesh Express, it's just a nice little. Again, I put that one in here because I've always, again, for the same reasons that I've always wanted it. I've always loved that song. My brother had that, and I just recently got this last week. Like, this Crosby, Stills and Nash Greatest Hits. That one here in particular, and and yeah, uh, I I had it had to be there, and I thought that would follow great next to San Francisco Nights. Again, another suburban type of very suburban content with what he's singing about, and it's the version of the song that I always wanted and loved. And when I was able to finally get this particular that again that cover that particular version of it, and so I was like, what am I going to? I still had like 5.5 minutes left of space on the disc. It was like, what am I going to end it with? All right, okay, let's end it with some Arcade Fire with Sprawl 2. I think it has the perfect vibe to end it with. That is like with all this encroaching technology and very straight and suburbanite living, that I want to get away from that and go to somewhere where I can see the stars or breathe the air and see mountains, mountains beyond mountains. But of course that's referencing shopping malls and stuff being mountains beyond mountains of yeah. So that is my little playlist of what's on here. Not exactly like I said. There's the German version of Major Tom missing from that's not that's on this, but it's not on here. And of course, I have the album version of Nuclear Vision. Vision. See, I keep getting out of the because I want to show you. But yeah, but besides that, everything else is pretty standard, pretty the same. All right, I think I am done. I was able to say everything I wanted to say. Just look forward to in about maybe 4 more days once I have a chance to really sit down and give myself my full attention to not this. I wanted to Umagama. Umagama, yeah. I really need to re-listen to that and give a proper review and rating and ranking and all that stuff, okay? Because I know there's some people that kind of put it down saying, okay, it's their worst, saying it's their worst. I don't know about that. I see value in it. I do actually enjoy it. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I had to put away my expectations and take it for what it is. And I can say right now, I'll still give it another proper review. What I can say about it right now is that I didn't realize when I first got this that this was the whole package. When you got this album, it was a double album of a live and a studio album, and this is actually why this is first is because this is the primary focus. This is just a secondary bonus, of a. They also have a studio album, and because why not put it the second album, because it is experimental. And what I can say from what I've heard, okay, is that I think this type of album is necessary. If they would have just went on without doing this and went and made another album, like a normal album, like what the studio wanted, as like make it commercial, make it standard songs, make it more like this, and but they say, well, we'll offer something this. We want this because this is experimental. This for them was their testing ground. This is their testing ground. And if you look at it in that respect, that this is not meant to be one of those commercial type of albums, you're meant to listen to it and reflect upon it. And I don't think if they would have not have made this album, both parts in that, or especially with that, I don't think that they would have been able to, you know, I think this helped them figure out and pave the way for stuff like Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall and other pieces of work. I don't think those pieces of work would have been as grandiose and as special and as endearing as they are to people if it wasn't them figuring it out all on doing stuff like this. That's just my opinion. That's how I see it. Like I said, I'll give a deeper look on it later. Oh, I'm talking a little bit too long here. I'm gonna let you guys go. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I will greatly appreciate it and love you forever. Go to the Spotify. I'll leave it somewhere down there that you can go to the Spotify playlist and check it out for yourself. And also that. Yeah, don't be afraid to hit the like button. Leave me comments. I'm sometimes kind of bad at getting to this comments, but as long as I leave a channel heart and a like for it, you know that I loved your comment, and I'll try to get back to people's comments whenever I can. I don't see everybody's comments all the time. I do miss a lot of comments, but I'm a busy guy, but I do love your comments and I do love reading them and everything. So keep commenting. Okay, I am done. Please, everybody, be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, just have a great day, evening, morning, night, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.